So, hi Alexander.
Hello.
I'm very privileged to be here today with Aleksander
Sinigoj?
Sinigoj, pronunciation, who yesterday, during trainer training for the Society of NLP, was made a master trainer of NLP. Wow. First of all, Alex, how does it feel, that sense of a promotion, perhaps?
I wasn't really expecting it, so I was deeply touched, grateful. For many years, I've been training NLP, and I feel like this is my mission or my life's purpose to help people change. And NLP has helped me deliver different tools and techniques. And I really didn't expect it. I don't know how it feels, maybe just coming after me, but at the moment I feel just grateful and honored at the same time, more responsibility to learn more, to become better, to walk my talk. I think it's just another way to stay, and that's my goal, to stay humble and to sharpen my skills and tools, as I found that I never can stop, or I never should stop learning, and there is always a way to become better and better.
So you're saying something that resonates with me very strongly. Two things: walking your talk, and that we always learn, and we need to be humbled by the amazing things in the world to learn from.
Yes.
And NLP is such a great technology to enable us to learn through. So, Alex, in your country of Slovenia,
Yes.
yeah, how is NLP? Is it very prominent? How is it perceived in your country?
We have many institutes, so many organizations delivering NLP. Has been for many years, even before I started. And from what I see and what I'm seeing in the last years, more and more people want to learn, want to become better, and want to change their lives. So I'm excited. I'm happy, and I think NLP for me, it's something that kids in school should be taught. So we should teach them how to use their minds on purpose, how to think on purpose, and yes, I think I don't think in Slovenia or in UK or in any other countries really it's much difference. People are looking for ways to improve their lives, and our goal as trainers and coaches and mentors is to give them as many tools as possible, at the same time leave them to do what they want, leave them to live their lives the way they think is the best way.
And the applications that we're talking about cover all areas of the world, don't they? All areas of life. We want our students and our clients to be able to apply NLP in all walks of life, in all things that they do, because it's just such a great toolkit for running your brain on purpose, isn't it? Alex, you mentioned the idea, the notion that NLP should be taught in all schools, and of course that's something very close to my heart with the Happy Brain Project, which I'm so very proud and privileged to be creating and taking out into the marketplace. So I have my very strong ideas and experiences about how really important it is that we teach the next generation how to think on purpose, how to self-regulate their feelings, and to have clarity of goal and behaviour. And you are also a parent of
Yes.
how many?
Four kids.
Yeah. 4 kids.
Yes.
Yeah. And a big range of age?
From the oldest son will be 15 now, and the youngest is a daughter. She's 3 and she'll be 4 at the end of the year. Yes.
Okay, so a nice big age range.
Yeah.
Alex, share with me how you have used NLP to help your children to be the best they can be?
I use different tools and techniques on them, and I've been doing this from the very beginning when I learned NLP. And sometimes I manage to create change. Sometimes I feel that I'm succeeded, and there are many times I feel I haven't, so that they don't respond the way I want them to respond. And what I noticed,
Parents.
yes, and what I noticed is that even with the oldest ones now, my son and my daughter, who are both teenagers, I actually hear them using the patterns of myself, which they learn probably unconsciously. So I, for example, use meta model questions. So for example, there was a time when they kept saying, everybody's going to this party, I'm going too, and I said everybody, or tell me who is going, and so on. And now they're doing the same way on me. You know, I said every time you do this, they say every time, and they are actually now challenging me, which is fun. And at the same time, I feel that I need to be also congruent with them, because they notice when I'm not, and I think kids have like antennas where they always notice when I'm not in a good state, and that is the time when they come and they challenge me more and help me grow. But I think in overall I'm grateful. Being a parent, to me, it's one of the most beautiful tasks and missions, and with all the challenges that it comes, I wouldn't change it for anything in the world. So I love using NLP and learning how to grow when I do that.
So something that I'm very aware of is when I look back in time at how my children were when they were small, and I often think, what did I need to know then that I now know? I wish I knew it. Could I help them? When I think of it that way, I'm reminded of, and you mentioned congruency, I'm reminded very much of one of my children saying to me, "But Mum, you don't mean that." And I'd say, "Yes, I do. Listen to my words." And I didn't know better at the time.
Yes.
And he would say, "But Mum, you don't mean it." And I'd say, "Listen to my words, read my lips," over and over again.
Yes.
And now, when I look back, I realise that actually he was noticing my congruency. He was hearing the music rather than the words, and noticing that they were out of sync. And children have a very strong innate capability of tuning into the right hemisphere, the unconscious mind, it's often referred to in this way.
Yes.
Is that your experience?
Yes.
That's kind of what you were talking about earlier, isn't it?
Yes. And I think it's important for us that like we talked before, that we grow as coaches, as we go as trainers, that we walk our talk in front of our audiences and clients. It's so much more important even that we do the same with the kids.
Yes.
So that
Because they're modelling us all the time.
exactly.
Aren't they?
So if we make a mistake as a parent, that we acknowledge that, and that we
it's
apologize,
okay.
and maybe referring to what you said at the beginning, that you know, there are so many things, if I knew them before, I would maybe act it differently, or have done a different, or make a different decision, and so on. But I cannot change the past.
Yes.
The best question is, how can I do it now? What can I change now? And for example, with the kids, if they misbehave, or they come from school with some bad mark and so on, sometimes I use different ways. Like the phone is one of the things that it's a great way, for example, for me motivating them, like the away from way. But I ask them then, for example, to write their goals
You
in
do?
exchange for them receiving the phone earlier, or if they want me to do something, I ask them to do something. Like, for example, tell me about the goals, tell me about what you're going to do, tell me about. So I ask them to start programming their minds, and you know how it is. We never know. Being a parent is probably one of the hardest jobs in the world, and
Definitely the hardest job in the world.
we never know. We never
Yeah.
know what's going to happen with them, and sometimes we take responsibility for their lives, which it's actually not fair. We are only responsible for our lives. We as parents, at the time that we are raising them, we do the best we can do. I mean, so I don't know what will happen with them, but I want them to start learning them. So I teach them affirmations, I teach them setting goals, I teach them being grateful. So before, for example, we eat, when we sit for dinner, it could be Sunday or could be Monday or Tuesday, when we are all together, each of us says something that is grateful at that moment that has happened. And of course, so many times they say the little kid is Anna, the youngest one. We call it a miracle. We didn't expect her. And all the kids say, "Oh, we are grateful for Anna." But then I said, "Okay, you're grateful for Anna, and tell me what other things you are also grateful for." And they say, "Okay, I'm grateful that this happened in the school, or this happened when I had my football in the afternoon," and so on. So I think there are small things, and to me, helpful things. I think. And sometimes I do an excuse, and I ask them, please, can you join me today in the afternoon? I have a workshop, and you help me with the product, and then they're sitting there, and maybe they will pick 5%, 10%, and that's how I think this is what I'm giving them.
Yeah, and we're very lucky, aren't we? When sometimes I hear my adult kids being really wise, or having a really good perspective on something that's happening in their world, and I think, yeah, I didn't overtly teach them it, but it has gone in. It's interesting. So Aleksander's just mentioned gratitude, and in social media terms, there's so much written about attitude of gratitude. It seems to be such a buzz, a trendy thing to talk about. But actually there's some really interesting neuroscience attached to when we are grateful for something, we open up the dopamine channels inside our brain, which is part of the reward system, the limbic system. So actually, you're already teaching your children how to manipulate their own neurochemicals on purpose, which is a really cool thing to do, isn't it? So it's an objection I often find from parents and teachers sometimes. You know, it's this gratitude, affirmations, but actually what we know is what's happening inside the chemical reactions inside their brain, and that's really exciting, isn't it? You know, you're giving them that closure, that reward, and the dopamine channels are in play. What else do you, with your knowledge, our knowledge of what NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, can do on purpose for the state, the emotional state, the nervous system of our children, what else do you work with or teach them or help them to experience, maybe getting ready for bed or doing homework, managing their state, self-regulation?
I'm lucky that my wife is the one who is the boundaries person, so she has some strict boundaries. Some strict boundaries on maybe the way they have their rooms tidy and so on. And we decided some time ago that after 8:30 in the evening, there are no mobile phones or no technology, so that they can have a nice calming down state before going to bed. And I think apart from this, if they have a fear and so on, I could use an NLP intervention and tell them, okay, make this smaller, use a funny voice and so on. But what I noticed is that they're not always open to me working on them. They sometimes
Dad.
they sometimes prefer that they listen to somebody else. So I do, maybe I make excuses, or I say to other people, could you say this to my child? So I use a third person, or you know, when they were younger, I could say, I could use like quotes, for example,
Yes.
Noddy said,
Yes.
brush your teeth and so on. But then they said, oh no, they don't do. Noddy never brushes his teeth, or Messi is eating vegetables, and Messi doesn't eat vegetables, and so I think I'm imperfect parent, but at the same but at the same time, there's one thing I keep repeating, and I don't know where I got it from, but I keep repeating that I believe in them, that I love them all the time, every single day. And maybe this is what I taught them when they were very little, that when they behave and when they misbehave, I always love them. If I am there, if I'm not there, I love them. So this is something that I play with the little one as a game, but I play with each and every one of them, that no matter what happens, I always love them.
So you're talking about the real foundations of what's often called psychological safety. Adults refer to it, don't they? Those really foundational things that settle the most primitive parts of the brain, sort of being loved, being able to love, feeling connected, feeling safe, feeling secure. And then, of course, that creates this thrive brain rather than a survival brain. So it's a wonderful gift that I think is so often overlooked by people who just don't know. So it's a wonderful thing. Switching for a moment from children, which we could talk about forever, it's my very very favourite subject, how we can influence the next generation thinking. And switching to when we work with adults, maybe, you know, in the corporate world or in the coaching environment, training room. Of course, what we never know is the adults who come into our environments, what their early experiences are. So if they don't have those foundational experiences of trust and cooperation and, you know, reward systems and self-regulation, if they have not managed to yet habituate them, where do you begin? Do you begin top down with the sort of cognitive mind, or bottom up from the nervous system, emotional state, or where do you sort of, how do you approach?
It's so different. It really depends. My goal is always for them to start thinking about the present and the future, and to stop using all that limiting belief. So what I do, I actually, if I work in a group as a training or a group coaching, I usually have, at the end of the day, every day, half an hour of something. So like a closed eye process, a meditation, visualization, and many times I take them in the past and I change that past. Many times I take them to a special garden when that I add resources that they might never had in their lives. Then I have a special forgiveness meditation. So I do so many different things. Like I want them to have their internal world changed and improved for so many different positions, and I see incredible results. I remember one of the NLP practitioners I had, there was a guy who came to my course, and this was, we had this course 3 weekends in a few months apart. So he promised the first weekend that we were together, that was Friday, Saturday, Sunday, he promised that on the last 3 days that we meet, he will bring a book. Because I told everyone, challenge yourself. Do something you really want to do, that you feel in your heart, that you have a calling. And so in September when we met, this was in January when he set the goal. So after 9 months, he came with the book, and each of the participants got this book as a gift. And in this book, he wrote his story, how he was sexually abused by his stepfather. And it was the first time he came public. And this what happened to him actually led him to take drugs, to do alcohol. His wife, that was also on the course, told us her part of the story, where she was suffering being next to him. But it felt like when he put this on a paper, when he shared this with other people, when he got so much recognition and support from others, that like he healed.
Yes.
But the funny thing was that 2 other participants in that group, when he shared the story, when he gave us the book, broke into tears, and both of them were abused. One of them by her father. And the question that she was asking, how could somebody do that to the child? And I told her, it's a wrong question. If you will keep asking that question, you will always feel the pain, and there's a question with not good answer. And what I see in her is that when she joined the course, when she came, and the first time I saw her, I saw a female, but she looked to me like a man, with a strong masculine energy. And now, after I've done so many times, I don't know what I do really, but after we've done so many exercises, because she's been with me on the prac and on master prac and on hypnosis, and I see a little girl coming out, smiling, shining, and bringing so much energy to other people. So many times people ask me what I do. I don't know, but I have a mission. So the same way I teach my kids to program their minds, to write the grades they want at the end of the school year, to write their career, but not only career, their lives, their health, their energy, whatever they want as a goals. I do this to myself. So when I drive to my course in the morning, I give to myself a command. I say to myself, unconscious mind, I command you, or I ask you, or please help me serve those people the best I can. And I do this many times, and I see miracles. I think I see my job as a life purpose, not a job, like a mission, but I see miracles, people changing. And when I see some of them, I see and I see strength and energy and motivation for me to continue what I do.
And I think that's something John Laval spoke about this week. We've been assisting on NLP trainer training in Orlando, where we're in the middle of a thunderstorm and probably a tornado. One of the things one of the phrases I made a note of was, he said, people cannot deny their own experience. And whilst we can talk about that in terms of the experience our clients or students have, also for ourselves, a phrase I use frequently, and Aleksander's just used it, is I see miracles. And that's really hard to define. But when you've had that experience of what traditionally would be seen as a miracle, there's no logical explanation to it, and yet we know some of the mechanics of that miracle. It's very rewarding, isn't it?
Yes.
Well, one last question, please, Alex. is so we're about to fly home to our respective countries now, having spent 3 weeks with Dr. Richard Bandler and John Laval and the whole training team. It's been very inspirational. So I've just spent a little bit of time reflecting on what have I learned, what are the things that I'm going to take away from this for me that will improve my future and my skills. And even some of the more painful, I messed up a couple of times on, reaction, and in retrospect, would I do it differently? Yes, I would. There's something very important to learn from that. When we reflect so that we can feed it forward to continually improve, what's one of your best reflections for yourself from the last few weeks that we've been in the presence of all these inspirational NLP masters and trainers?
I don't know if I have one. There have been probably many insights, and I'm just grateful that I'm here learning from Richard, John, Kathleen, from these great trainers, and from all the assisting team. And I learned from each and every one, and I'm so blessed with this. So I think it's probably the idea that we never stop learning, and that when we surround ourselves with great and inspiring people, then something in us begins to wake up and we get more energy, more strength. And this was again another proof of this. So I can't really say that if it was a specific thought, if you mean, or a specific idea. Probably I learned many different things, and I hear some of the thoughts again and again, and I hear them from different perspective, and I put them in a different part of my brain. It's like watching a great movie or reading a great book. When we read the same book again or watch the same movie again, it's never the same, because not that the book has changed, but we changed.
Yes.
Not that the movie has changed, we changed. And that's why I think I'm blessed, grateful, and happy, even though we have a storm coming or a tornado coming. I'm happy and blessed that I can be here and I can improve my skills and also bring those skills back to my people that may never see Dr. Bandler. They may never seen John and Kathleen Laval. They will never travel or experience what I have experienced. So a big feeling of gratitude.
So I think the big message from me and from yourself is a single word: gratitude. Do we agree on that?
Yes.
We're very grateful, very lucky, very blessed. And it's been an absolute privilege working with you and learning from you and being inspired by you. And long may it continue. I look forward to seeing you again. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kay.
Listen to the thunder.
And again, you've done a great job. It was fluent. You are a coach that dances when she speaks. When you speak. Fantastic.
That's so nice. Thank you.
Thank you so much.